Good morning, my dear students, and welcome back to the English literature class. In today's class, we are going to deal with a short story titled as. I think you must have got some idea about this particular story called as All Summer in a Day. It is an interesting story and it is a little difficult to understand. So let's go through the person, or let's understand the person who has written this particular short story. He is known as Ray Bradbury, is an American writer, and he is the one who has written the story called All Summer in a Day. And All Summer in a Day is a science fiction short story written by American writer Ray Bradbury. So it comes under the category of fiction or science fiction, something related to the science. It is an interesting story. I hope you will understand it. So in today's class, I will give you a summary of this particular short story. Today I will not go through the complete textbook. Today I will give you a summary, and once that is over, we will go through the text paragraph by paragraph. So what are the main characters of this particular play? There are three important characters. Margaret, she is the most important character of this particular story, her classmates and her teacher. So these are the main three characters who will appear in this particular story. Now what does it say? This story is set on the planet Venus. So does not happen in Siddhartha, does not happen in Uttar Pradesh, does not happen on this earth. It happens on the planet called Venus. And what is the specialty there? Where the sun shines for only 2 hours once every 7 years. I hope you have understood the meaning. Where the sun shines, which means the sun will come out for 2 hours. It's not like that we have in our Siddhartha, where sun rises in the morning and goes back by evening. That does not happen in Venus. Shines for only 2 hours once every 7 years. It opens on the day that the sun is due to make its appearance once. So as the story begins, what happens? There is a day where the sun is going to be shown, or where the sun is going to be appeared. So that's how the story begins. As the story begins, the children are eagerly waiting for the appearance of the sun, because that happens every 7 years. Now what happens here? Margaret, the important character, main character, and other children in her school on Venus are 9 years old. Now what is we'll come to the characters or the specialties of these children who are in that particular school. They are in the school 9 years old. Those children are 9 years old. Margaret came from the earth to Venus 5 years ago. So she landed in Venus 5 years ago. Therefore she accurately recalls the sun and the way it looked and felt as it shone on her when she was back in Ohio. So remember, those children who are in Venus, only Margaret had the experience of watching or experiencing the sun before. Other children do not have any idea about how the sun looks, what is the color, what is the size of this particular thing called the sun. She knows because she came to Venus 5 years ago, so she has got the clear picture of how the sun looks like. But other children do not have that particular experience. So what happens there? However, this is not the case with other children. They were far too young to remember what the sun was like when last it shone upon them. They are all 9-year-old children, and when the sun appeared, they were too young to understand or to remember the sun. They can only imagine the warmness of that sun upon their arms and legs. These children cannot recall the size or the appearance of the sun. So that is a difference here. Now what happens? Margaret tells others that the sun is round like a penny and hot like a fire in the stove. So since she has the experience of experiencing the sun She tells them this is how the sun looks like. But what happens? The other children accuse her of lying. They are telling, no, you are telling lie. This is not the reality. This is not truth. You are telling us lie. And they show their resentment. Resentment means anger of her seeming superiority by locking her in a closet. So what happened? When you are in the children, when someone tries to be very superior, you may not like. That's the same thing that happened here. When Margaret told this is how it is, other children did not like it. They thought that she is appearing to be very superior. So what happens? They closed her in the closet. So what happens after that? When the Venus rains finally stopped and the sun comes out, it sends a flaming bronze color throughout the jungle growth. The children soak up the life-giving sunshine until the rain starts to fall again. So when the sun appeared, what happened? Margaret was in the closet. She was locked up there, and other children came out and they had the experience of the sun for the first time. It means when they are able to remember. When they had seen, they were too young, too small to understand anything. Now, since they are 9 years old, they can understand what it is. So they experience the sun and experience the sun for 2 hours, and again it started to rain. Now what happens? The children now know that Margaret was telling the truth about the sun. Now after experiencing what the sun looks like, what happened, they understood that their friend Margaret was telling them the truth. Then and only then do they remember that Margaret is still locked in the closet. Then they realized that they had done a big mistake. They understood that Margaret is still locked in the closet. So they felt very bad about it. Prior to the sun's appearance, before the appearance of the sun, the children are described as being so pale. Pale means without any color, that they are almost colorless. The rain had washed the yellow from their hair, the blue from their eyes, and the red from their, which means they did not have any emotions. That's the reason they look like pale. Pale means without any color. But what happens? The good qualities in their personalities have also seemingly been washed away because of the children are quick-tempered and spiteful. So because of the rain, what happens? These children, the rain had taken away all their good personality, all the good qualities in their personality. That they are so cruel by locking Margaret in the closet never occurs to them. If they were not very cruel, they would not have done that one. So the rain had washed away all the good qualities in them. That is the picture of the children before the appearance of the sun. Now what happens? The sun, however, depicts a restoration for the children. Now after experiencing the sun, what is the picture now? It gives color to the washed out appearance, and it also enables them to possess new encouragement, strength and wholeness in their lives. Finally, the children remember Margaret, but for her it is too late. She must wait 7 years to see the sun again. After experiencing the sun, they understood there were changes in their characters. They got good qualities, which means it possessed new encouragement, strength and wholeness in their life. So how the children were there before they could experience the sun, and what changes happened after experiencing the sun. But now what happens here is that Margaret had to wait again she has to wait 7 years to see the sun again. So this is a summary of this particular short story. I have given the PDF already. Kindly go through the PDF and this video and try to understand. So this is a summary of the story. So it happens in Venus, where sun comes for 2 hours every 7 years. As the story begins, that's the day when they were waiting to see the sun. So we have got Margaret, who came to Venus 5 years ago, so she had the experience of seeing the sun. Other children did not have it, so there was a quarrel and the children closed her in the closet. So after experiencing the sun, the children understood their mistake, realized their mistake, they came back and made friendship with a girl called Mangrove. So that's a summary of the chapter called All Summer in a Day. I hope you have understood. Go through the PDF once again so that you will understand the summary. Once that is over, we'll take the textbook. We'll go through the textbook properly. Okay, thank you.